Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or over in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
You know, I'm looking on my desk while that was playing, and I realized that I had inadvertently ripped my property tax bill in half. Which really, I think it was probably Freudian.
Were you protesting unintentionally?
Probably was. I am not paying this. You can stick it where the sun don't shine. Anyway, welcome to this week's episode. I didn't say if I see it while I was sitting here. Welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. It is November 4th, Election Day 2025, and this is episode 140.
Yeah, wow. We're getting close to, I'm going, man, I wonder if we'll make it to 150. Holy moly's, we're only 10 away.
No, we're only 10 away. I was thinking about 200, that maybe we can live long enough to make it to 200, but we'll have to just wait and see. You know, it's not a big election this year, but there are some big elections in the country. In my state, we only have public service commissioner race and a couple of referendums on the ballot, and you said there's only like one referendum on your ballot.
Yeah, out in the rural stuff, and they when you go to look up a sample ballot, they send you for the whole county. Well, the big cities in the county have got people for city council, and I'm going, no, the wife's reading, I'm going, no, we can't vote on Caldwell City Council. We live in Parma, not Caldwell. Well, not in Parma, but
I think we had a total of 5 things on the ballot here, but
yeah, we got a fire thing referendum, like a levy type deal that they're doing, and they've gone, well, you know, things have gone up, and all of a sudden now they want a whole lot of money a year.
We're seeing like 40% increase. That's insane.
It was a ridiculous increase. It's like, okay, yes, things have gone up, and too many places have been doing that, whether it's with food, whether it's with this and that. Well, the cost of things have gone up. Bam! No, inflation wasn't 35, 40, 50, 60%. No. Stop it.
Not that much. It's just, that's insane. Yeah. Anyway, the big elections in the country, I think, are in Virginia. Of course, you got Winsome Sears going up against Spamberger, which her name is Spam. I mean, you know it's no good. And Winsome Sears, I mean, I'm a huge fan of hers. I have never heard her say anything I don't agree with. Yep. New Jersey has, Cicerelli, I think, is one of is the Republican running there. I can't remember.
And his numbers have just, in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, have just gone.
Yeah. I know I got that name wrong, but yeah, he's done really well. And of course, in New York City, you've got Mamdani. He's still leading the race, but even though there's a lot of corruption, a lot of crap being uncovered, you were just talking to me off the air about that.
Yeah. Whole lots of it. Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. And unfortunately, I hate it for New York City. I mean, it has been one of the highlighted cities in the world for many years. And if he gets in there and tries to make everything free, which I'm not even sure he has the power to do once he gets in there.
No, and I heard something about that yesterday. That's got to go through the governor, and she goes, "I'm not approving it." You want to tax the rich? Yeah, no, I'm not going to approve that because New York City is loaded with them.
But I think you have a city tax too, that he might have control over that, because I heard the same thing as far as like state income. But I think if you live in a big city, and don't quote me on this, if you live in a big city, you actually get a hit with a municipal tax type thing too. So I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. But that is a dumpster fire in the making. If Mamdani gets in there, we've said dumpster fire off the air probably 7 times already this morning.
That's it. The word of the day is dumpster fire. Wait, no, that would be the phrase of the day. My bad.
Electric company, I can hear him doing it. But yeah, there's some smaller important decisions. No matter what state you live in, get out there and vote today because a lot of times we sit on the sidelines, especially those of us that are conservative. We are busy people, and we just don't get to the polls, and we should. Every time there's an election, we should be there and having our voice heard because otherwise, that's how they get a little bit of a foothold in. You know, school commissioner and school board members. You know, man, we've got some weird things on the school board here in Bartow County in Northwest Georgia that is just like it curl your hair. We just heard about it last week. We actually started a turning point action chapter in Bartow County just this past Wednesday.
Yeah, it was just last week.
Yep,
You were going to it that evening, I think, because we recorded on Wednesday because we're old and we had doctor appointments and, can't do it.
And we have to turn up the hearing aid. What's wrong with me? My pancreas has fallen out. How did that
Turnips? No, I don't care for turnips.
never liked them? They're like Democrats. I try to stay away from them.
Oh, nice.
Anyway,
I like the way you segued that. Anyway,
but you know, we mentioned Winsome Sears. She's running as the GOP nominee for governor in Virginia, and she pointed out some weird things that happened in that race just this past weekend. Here's what she
And
had.
this is the president. But remember, Obama was supposed to be the president of hope and change. Whatever happened to all that? Where is the hope, Mr. President? Where is the change, President Obama? Of course, we know it's all hypocrisy. And then, of course, last year, this time, he told everybody to vote for the black woman. Well, Charlie, here I am.
Right.
Here I am. And now he's singing a different tune. Hypocrisy all the way. But the Virginia voters are seeing through that because we are for common sense. And my opponent, Abigail Spanberger, is for nonsense.
Boy, I hope she's right. I hope
it almost sounded like she said adios, Spamberger.
Abigail.
That's what it was. They both start with an A. Close.
Yeah, they do. They do. But yeah, that's really weird that Obama was like, when Kamala was running, you got to vote for the black girl. What's wrong with you people? And now all of a sudden, like, oh, we got to vote for the white girl. It's for DEI, and we want to take the black woman out of it. To what? She, you know, and you know, this is a side note, but that would be historical. A black woman governor, she'd be the first out of all 50 states.
She's very, very intelligent. I've heard several of her speeches, and I've heard her talk off the cuff and be on things like she was just on there. That was not scripted. It wasn't. Well, I think when what was the question? Where's my drink?
I don't know if we have this. Well, I think we do. We have this for Kamala. She's good at kind of like turning on a dime when she gets asked a question. I think that she got called out on that in Australia this past weekend. But anyway, yeah. So vote for the black girl. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing in Virginia, for goodness sake, you know, she's a Marine, and I still love her. So I mean.
Well, here's the weird thing is. Joe is not even black. Oh, she's from, hello, thank you for calling. How can I help you?
When she ran for senator, that's what she clung to.
It's like her nationality changes with whatever model she's been on.
With her accent. Yeah, it happens that quick. Keir Starmer has made such a mess of things in the UK. He's been in office now, not even a year and a half. And new polling has shown that the ReformUK party, led by our buddy Nigel Farage.
Oh, we love Nigel. Nigel is just the best. And he's not been talking real nice. He's been pretty tough in what this is and not, well, we would like to. No, he's not doing the British stuff. He is.
Yeah, he's been pounding on the fellow conservatives, as a matter of fact, because they've been wishy-washy on stuff that they shouldn't be. Immigration is the big thing over there right now. Everybody's up in arms. And as a matter of fact, we either have to have Mike back on the show from the UK or Charmaine, because both of them stay plugged in on what's going on over there. We need to have one of them back. I know I say that all the time, and I need to reach out to Charmaine at least and see if she wants to come back on the show, because we
speaking of Charmaine, did you see the thing she did with, it was actually kind of a positive President Trump thing. I was like, really?
And of Trump normally. So yeah,
No, no.
interesting. No, I
So
didn't see that. I'll have to go back and look. I normally get a notification whenever she puts something on YouTube, and I just haven't lately.
yeah, I just happened to run across it yesterday. It might even have been on Instagram, but it was done in a humorous manner of like asking him questions, and then she had from when he said something. So
Oh
it
boy.
was,
Oh,
yeah, it
that's
was it was actually pretty well done. So
yeah, yeah. I think Trump 2.0, I think, has surprised a lot of people and actually brought people around because he's talking a little bit more of a tougher game, which he should have all along. But the experts are saying in the UK that Reform could gain 395 seats in Parliament, and which would only leave Labour, which has been the leader for quite a while now, only 9 seats in Parliament, only 9 MPs in the Labour Party, which is like incredible,
that would
incredible.
be like in a year from now, the elections for the House and us gaining, 300 seats in the House, there wouldn't hardly be any Democrats left.
Exactly. Same thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I don't think their elections are until 2029, if I'm reading correctly. But I don't know if
Well,
they'll
if there
survive.
is what is it, a no confidence vote or some such, the Parliament stuff is really weird. Canada does the same thing, and it's like, well, I thought they weren't going to, but it's like a recall, but not. I don't know how else to do it, but if there is a no confidence vote, then it will get brought up sooner. But if there's too many Labor in there, or I forget which party is what.
Labor
Yeah, the
is
Labor
like
Party is
Democrat.
what's in there, and the Reform is the one that's wanting to. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like the way the media likes to put it. They're the far right. Conservatives are not quite as far right, but man, Reform is obviously getting some traction. I
yeah.
like to hear it. So
Well, there people are tired of seeing in the news, and those that have um, essentially been allowed to be dumped into their country and how much it's costing them. It's
oh yeah.
finally hit the point where they're going, we're not doing this anymore, and that's what's happened in America too. We're going, our money was used for what? I
Mhm.
mean, for some aid stuff or helping somebody out or a country that's kind of getting back on its feet. Okay, there's some things going on, but you did what with it? How much? Yeah.
Well, Trump is sending a bunch of money to Argentina, $40 billion.
Yeah, but he's not sending it's a monetary exchange.
Is that what it
We're
is?
getting their however many peso things, and it helps shore up there. In other words, it kind of sounds like Argentina is going to be maybe getting back on the dollar instead of the pesos
Oh,
or whatever the heck they're on, but it was a monetary exchange.
okay.
We've sent so much money buying so much of their pesos, or I don't remember what it's called, what they're on. I think that's what it is, but
Javier Milei is very much like a Trump clone down there, and he's actually done some great things reforming the way that country was way off track when he
they
he
just
took
had
over.
another election with him and killed it. He was, I mean, the news media is doing the same thing down there. They're doing up here. They keep pounding on Trump and they keep getting fewer and fewer and fewer viewers where you're not going to be able to afford to keep doing that.
Again, the media here and apparently all over the world has lost all of their credibility by with a lot of things. COVID, with just lying the way they have over the years. And it's like, and like I said, COVID to me is the shining thing on the hill that tells me is like they will tell you anything in order to get you to comply. And it has nothing to do with the news, has nothing to do with reporting. Honestly, it's about getting you to do what the
To
government
control
has
you.
told them they
Yeah.
want you to do.
Yeah. And we're bad little people. We didn't. And we're very happy for it because I've
Yeah.
known way too many people that did and are having nothing but health problems because
Oh,
of
I
it.
know, I know.
I
And
mean,
some
one
people
friend had open heart. That's just sad.
and most people are probably fine, which is great. But I mean, it's a risk. I think it was much more of a risk taking the shot than not taking the shot. But that's just my opinion on all that stuff. But
Yep.
anyway, Kamala, Auntie Kamala, keeps
Yes,
inserting
you
herself.
you call my name?
Mhm. One more swig, Kamala. Let's get this thing going. She keeps inserting herself into the limelight. Now, instead of changing her accent, she's doing something else. And see if you can pick up on what it is.
Are you fucking kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big fucking hammer? What about those babies?
Well, I think inserting the F word is probably talking like a sailor is going to get her some votes in 2028. I don't understand.
Don't know. But are you kidding me? I mean,
You can't be serious. Yeah.
but here's the funny part, lady, is it's your party that stopped all that stuff. Trump had nothing to do with it. Oh, and you're talking about the, excuse me, the ballroom. That is no taxpayer money at all is going to this. And you know what, Mom Donnie? Well, I have a problem with it. I need another drink. Mom Donnie's said that's $300 million for that ballroom, and that's New York City's money, and he needs to pay us for it. It's like, what? No, there was no taxes. Nothing was taken, but you're about to have a bunch of stuff removed.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time he opens his mouth, he puts his foot in it here lately. I mean, so
it's like, and Kamala, did she bother to mention that's not taxpayer? I don't know why the guy interviewing her didn't. A lot of them have started correcting folks. No, that has nothing to do with budget money. No.
Yeah. We'll get to another Kamala quote here in a little bit. But they did, the Australian interviewer, Sarah Ferguson, did call her on a couple of things, and that ends up being uncomfortable, and you'll have to wait and see how that turns out. It's just, it turned out pretty good. I like, the Australian media is, it's either right or left. I mean, they really don't have a whole lot of middle ground, anybody. But the right media over there likes to ask tough questions. It's Sky News Australia, and this was actually on ABC, Australian Broadcasting Network anyway. But it was one of the mainstream medias, and she was tough on her. It was really good.
Yeah, she was an older gal, and she wasn't being nasty about it. She just wanted to kind of kept bringing it back, and
it was good.
If looks would kill. Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Mayor Pete was on a podcast the other day, and we won't call you his other names, but he was trying to say how dangerous it is, even for legal citizens. But of course, if you got brown skin, for goodness sake, to be in America under the big bad orange man, he got shut down pretty quickly by an actual legal immigrant. It's really good. Here we go.
It feels to be in this country, the better off Donald Trump is, whether he's running for president or whether he is president. And sending troops marching into the streets.
Can I just say, as the only immigrant right now on this podcast who immigrated here legally, I feel much safer and better under a Donald Trump presidency than I ever did under a Biden presidency. Just want you to hear it from my mouth for what that's worth.
Do you feel safer about the fact that a Latino doctor crossing the street in Washington, D.C. Is getting hassled or harassed because they're brown?
I don't think that I've heard that. Now,
okay, so you're not aware of any case in which a U.S. citizen who is
no.
Like you're no,
but I will tell you, for example, after 9/11.
Wait, you're on a podcast commenting about immigration. Surely you have some level of awareness.
Let me tell you, after 9/11, for example, for years I had SSS on my boarding passes. And I was pulled over constantly, and people probably thought that I was a Muslim hijacker. Mm-hmm. So I know what it feels like to be harassed. And what I'm telling you categorically is I feel safer in this presidency than I have ever felt. And I'm just letting you know that. It's just my lived experience.
It was wonderful.
And I remember seeing part of that now, and Booty Boy was just going, damn, I got nothing for him.
I have a hard time believing that narrative that nurses, because they're Latino, are being stopped in the middle of the street as they're crossing the street by ICE agents. I'm just not buying it.
No.
I'm not buying it. I don't
Sorry.
think that.
No.
no. I know plenty of Latino people, and I've not heard anything like that. So, but anyway, we'll have to. Hopefully we'll hear more from Mayor Pete soon, because I love hearing him talk, because it's just one of those things that kind of feeds my soul.
Right. It gives us a lot to talk about, that's for sure, because of the stupid stuff that they say. Yeah. Anyway.
The arrogance is what gets me.
There
Again,
you go. That's the real thing that bugs me.
I mean, for you to be dumb is one thing, because I'm dumb. I don't mind being dumb. But it's like, don't speak on things that you don't know enough about. You know what I mean? You and I talk
So when
about
you don't know enough about it, you make stuff up. And it's like, in this day and age, have you heard of this? Oh, it's a thing that, if there's only a device we could look stuff up on, the intranets.
That's the difference, though. You and I are smart enough to understand there's a lot of things we don't know. So we read about it. We try to figure out the right story and not just a narrative from one network or another. And we speak on that. And if we don't know, I'm the first one to tell you. My daughter-in-law brings up stuff to me. I go, hon, I don't know anything about that. You have to explain it to me, because I don't know. But I mean, I'm not going to bluff you. I'm not going to tell you that I know something if I don't. You and I have known each other for years. Neither one of us do that stuff.
Nope. And we're both the same way. It's kind of weird that you mention that. It's like, you know what? If we don't know, I'm not going to make something up. I'm not going to tell you I know that, and then you find out later, and it's like, oh, well, my credibility went right down the toilet. We just don't do that. Same thing with you guys. We're not, if we don't have a clip to kind of back up what we're talking about, we'll have our opinions, and we may not know spit when we're doing an opinion. But you heard it out of the horse's mouth, and we didn't cut and paste. It was,
and when we speak on opinions, it's clearly opinion. It's like, I think it's this. And, my opinion could be dead wrong. But, I mean, it's an informed opinion. But if I don't know enough, you're not going to get my opinion, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are up against another break. Our first break. It's our first break. Why don't we do our first break? Going
that long? Yeah, we're just a tad over.
Just one at a time. So when we come back, we're going to hear from DHS Secretary Kristie Noem and Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins. They have some interesting takes on what's gone on the last 4 years and how it's affecting us today. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
This is what happens when you mix opinionated old guys and microphones. Stay off my lawn. We'll be right back.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Major League Infield Raker.
Mr. Major League Infield Raker.
Your precision movements and split-second timing keep America's infield safe for play and covered with cool, swirly designs. Millions watch as you weave your standard issue rake inches from the bag, then skillfully switch to the more advanced woven metal thing on a chain. Yeah, it has a name, but we wouldn't understand. Why? Because we're not Mr. Major League Infield Raker. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh Duke of Dirt. Because for every kid who wants to be a Major League Slugger, there's another who wants to be a guy with a rake. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
You probably didn't...
See, you can't sit still with this music.
I'll bet you didn't watch much of the World Series. I watched very little of it. I could have given a rat's about either team, but I don't watch much of baseball anyway. But I did happen to be watching one night, and this guy had to be 6'3", 6'4". He was one of those really tall pitchers.
Yeah.
So, it was later on in the game, and he goes to throw some practice stuff, and he says, I'm not doing this unless you fix this hole or whatever on the mound. Here come the guys out with the rake and some dirt, and they tapped it all down in, and they fixed the mound, and the game was held up till that was fixed.
You got to wonder how much that pays. There's got to be. By the way, congratulations to the Dodgers for winning the World Series. We're about a week late for the baseball one, but anyway, yeah.
No, that was just that wasn't too long ago. I don't. It's been
week.
since last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's first time they've had a back-to-back winner in, geez, I forget what, 20 years or something, 20 plus years. It's been a long time. So, anywho's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be doing a podcast. What were we doing? And now back from sports. Hey Bob, tell us how things are going.
Well, today it's going to be a high of 68 degrees and sunny skies. And, traffic, Richard, how's traffic look out there?
There are cars, lots and lots of them.
I've actually led that on the radio. I've done the traffic reports and weather reports, and I've led people into it. It's actually a guy named Dick DeLine used to do the news. Dick, what do we have in the news headlines today? Anyway, so I've experienced, it was a long time ago, but Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristie Noem was being interviewed on Fox News the other day, and she was talking about the things that they uncovered from the open border situation that has happened over the last 4 years. Under that guy that was tripping over things, I can't think of his name, but anyway, he was the head mofo in charge, and it didn't go so well. Anyway. Here's what Kristie Noem had to say.
He's going to be working to make sure that individuals who got Social Security numbers in this country should be using them for the right things, and they shouldn't be on our benefit programs. You know, we have over 6,000 individuals that have been identified through their work already that have been on the terrorist watch list, that they are known criminals.
How does that happen, Madam Secretary? How does that happen?
It happens when you put a train wreck like Joe Biden in the White House, and it's going to be a lot of work to clean it up. But just in the last 4.5 years, we've had over 9 million people get Social Security numbers that are not U.S. citizens. Oh. So they may be people who have some sort of legal status, but a lot of them are illegals that were given a Social Security number in just the last 4.5 years. That we're going to have to figure out if they should be here, if they are here legally under a program, and if they are here illegally, then they certainly shouldn't be using that Social Security number to be on our programs, and they should be removed or given the opportunity to go home on their own. That's the one thing President Trump would like, is everybody to be given the opportunity to go home if they would wish to.
Handing out Social Security numbers like Skittles at the border, I just don't understand.
Or like Oprah, look under your chair and you get a Social Security card and you get a Social Security.
I mean, there's so many things that go with that Social Security card. I mean, you can go vote when you have a Social Security card. In California, places like California give you driver's license. You got both those things. I believe that's their two-factor authentication for you to get in line to vote.
Or just say, I'd really like to vote. Okay, here you go.
Well, that's why Gavin doesn't like ICE people hanging out at voting places.
Yeah, he's still just livid that they're going to send people out to watch over voting. What, we're going to let you watch over it?
Well, the thing is, if it's not happening, then why are you worried about ICE being there? I mean, make it make sense.
Yeah.
It just, anyway, when it comes to SNAP benefits, of course, today we're leading into the record for the longest shutdown. We're in day 35, and the other longest shutdown was 35 days. I think it's 9 p.m. tonight. We actually go over that 35-day mark, and we made a record. Anyway, the SNAP benefits and food stamps, it gets more interesting when you start uncovering those things. This is a little bit lengthy, but this is Brooke Rollins, the Agriculture Secretary, revealing even more corruption that has happened over the last 4 years.
Found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people that are dead who are still getting benefits. Like, it is time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, are getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away and we can serve the American taxpayer.
You expect them to get a little bit of pressure. I mean, just Hakeem Jeffries' district alone, 43% of households in his district are dependent on SNAP, and he's the one blocking SNAP from moving forward. I want you to look at some of these numbers. 42 million Americans are on SNAP, so that's 1 in 8. 73% of SNAP households are at or below poverty level. 79% of SNAP households include children or seniors or disabled people. And the average household benefit is about $380. $32. Also, Brooke, you've said this before, and I think it's really interesting. You said some of the silver lining is we're getting to look a little bit behind the SNAP program. So we know that 20% of illegals are on SNAP, and that 59% of households headed by illegals use SNAP or some other multiple welfare programs.
Day one of USDA, February 13th, is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with DOJ and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we have asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But Rachel, to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program.
Yeah, it's everything. Anytime the government gets involved in handing out money, it gets broken and corrupt.
And sometimes it's the right as well as the left. Because there was a lot of folks on the right when they got rid of USAID that were like, well, we need to keep that policy in place because how am I going to have my slush fund? Yeah.
How am I going to have my 3 properties that are worth $5 million each? Even the Democratic Socialists of America candidates are upset about all that. So it's like, and they hate capitalism, but they use it.
Oh, Lord, yes. Yeah. Letitia knows all about it. I'm sorry, did I mention names?
2028 are still singing the same tune about Uncle Joe. Here is wait a minute. I jumped a story here. Sorry. Kamala Harris was interviewed on ABC Australia, and I meant to say this earlier, a few days ago, and her jumbled up word salad responses were enough to make you wonder how much she's been drinking that day. They do have great wine down there in Australia. But here's some of that interview, and you're going to like it.
Wasn't Joe Biden, then, to put it on him, wasn't his refusal to recognize his own frailties the reason that you faced a nearly impossible task?
I ran against Donald Trump for president, and Donald Trump ran on a platform that was in large part, I believe, misrepresenting his intentions to the American people. I do believe that there are a fair number of people that voted for Donald Trump who believed him when he told them that his first priority on day one is going to be to bring down prices, and he didn't. And you combine that misrepresentation of intention with also what was at play in terms of massive amounts of mis and disinformation.
Now, forgive me.
And a truncated calendar in terms of the clock.
I want to interrupt you because that is a world-class pivot, but it is not the question that I asked you, which is about Joe Biden's failure to recognize his own frailties and what that did to you. The question is about Joe Biden. Are you still reluctant to criticize the former president?
In what regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question. So you went on.
What exactly would you like to ask? Why don't you be more specific, if you don't mind?
Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position, that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
Goodness gracious, he was not frail. No.
Oh, Lordy.
Falling off of bikes. Everybody falls off of bikes.
I'm a little saddened that the Australian person doing didn't mention that Kamat Joe was the border czar. Yeah.
They didn't.
She
And no,
didn't
I
even
didn't see the
get
whole
to the
interview.
border. She went
That
to a
could-
border town, but she didn't go to the border.
That could have been brought up. I didn't see the whole interview. It could be.
Now, not any that I saw of stuff. I tried to see 2 or 3 different deals of it, but oh my Lord. And
Interviewer
then
is
to say that Trump, people were misled and, day one, what is he going to do? Turn a switch when it took you guys 4 years to make inflation just stupid because of the things you did? It's got to all be undone, repacked, and prices have been coming down, and it's only been 9 months. And to say that we were misled because of things he said he would do, so far, what he said he would do, he's been doing. So
the interviewer wasn't going to let her pivot on that. That was a world-class pivot.
nice try, but that's not what I asked.
About Joe Biden, she turned around and said, well, on day one, Trump said, it's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. I like how tough she is. She's a tough cookie.
Back the bus up, beep, beep. And when Kamala looked at her and said, in what way? Could you read? What is it? She was, oh man, if she had darts, I would have liked to have heard what she said when she got up out of that chair when it was over, because she was PO'd.
Wasn't happy. And what you didn't see on the interview, Sarah Ferguson actually afterwards made a little bit of a video of herself talking about the interview and what happened during the interview that got edited out. Anyway, she gave you a little behind the scenes insight, and here's how that went.
I want to come back to the book and the purpose of the book. So
this is the last question. We're at time. We gotta go. Sorry.
Yep. Well, that's almost a first, not an absolute first, but to have a member of staff of the former Vice President of the United States actually speak up during the interview to say that we were going too long. I didn't expect that. But coming back to the interview itself, it seems to me at its very heart, there is a reluctance on the part of Kamala Harris to actually spell out and talk about the issues that Joe Biden had as president. Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position, that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate. I'm just wondering, is there a reason why you won't go to that prolonged frailty question? Now, we saw the debate, we saw the difficulty he had marshalling his thoughts.
I have answered that question. I do not believe that
I think it's just hard watching the debate to see how there could not be a problem long term with someone who can't marshal their thoughts. I'm not saying his acuity wasn't present.
I talked about that in the book.
It's in the book, but it seems to me she doesn't want to say it on camera. I asked her that, she denied it, but I think there is still a reluctance there to criticize Joe Biden, which makes her current pivot a really difficult one because she's Joe Biden's vice president. It seems she's still not prepared to completely condemn him, but she's got to be a character in her own right without Joe Biden attached in order to have a chance to run again. So that, before I came in, that was the heart of the interview, and it turned out to be the heart of the interview with a little extra from her staff.
So yeah, they tried to shut it down. I kind of wonder, are they waiting for Joe to pass on before they throw him under the bus? I mean,
I don't think he would feel the bus if it hit him now.
That may be too.
I mean, it's really sad when you saw they kept trotting him out there because we can control him. We just do whatever we want and say, by the way, this is what you said. Oh yeah, like the one thing with Mike Johnson. No, Mr. President, I said in here, we talked about it, and you said, he goes, I didn't do any such thing. Yeah, you did. You signed it. He had no clue what was going on.
The other president, Autopen, that had done all that.
The one whose picture's in the hallway.
But yeah, that's so great. That's so great.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're not done with the Autopen. There's still some people that are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's got to be some ramifications for the Autopen thing. There just has to be, because who in the world was running that Autopen thing?
Pocahontas keeps being implicated very heavily in that.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
You want a pardon? Well, that'll cost you. Okay, and then you get a pardon. And how much you got? Oh, that's right. And you get a pardon.
And make sure it goes to the Cayman Islands account, not the one in, yeah. Yeah, let's take the last break. When we come back, we will hear more from Greasy Gavin, who's not going to throw Joe under the bus either, unfortunately. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Mike Tarnell, Richard Durrington. The Stay Off My Lawn podcast continues next.
Are you a liberal, ready to scream into the void about immigration, but tired of lighting cars on fire? Well, we have several tips you can help undocumented immigrants without smashing in a window. Number 1, become a host family. Put that money where your mouth is. That no human is illegal sign in your yard just became legally binding. Number 2, donate half your paycheck to immigration lawyers. You don't need rent money anyway. Social justice, housing stability. Number 3, marry one. I promise to love, honor, and protect your path to a green card until the 3-year audit do us part. Number 4, download Duolingo and learn Spanish overnight. Because nothing says solidarity like yelling, "Donde está la biblioteca?" at a deportation hearing. And lastly, number 5, read what the law actually says about immigration. Wait, it's actually a felony to re-enter after deportation? What? That's crazy. Hope this helps.
Oh my goodness gracious. His library in English, so you wanted to write that down.
What? It's illegal after? Yeah, some of them, before they put the wall up and stuff, were sent them out. They would be back the next day. I know of businesses in Arizona where, the immigration folks would come and the guy would turn around. Where'd the employees go? They all knew that an immigration person had come through the front office. Word got out quick and they went, he said, yeah, they were back to work next day.
Yeah. It happens so fast. It's like pulling up in an ice van in front of Home Depot. It just
suddenly you can't find any good help.
The Greasy Gavin is still eyeing the White House in 2028.
Is he looking through the little fences that are down? Because he needs to learn to look through things that way.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Here he is.
Only his will be rounded instead of square. Anyway.
There's got to be a reason for that. Here's old Gavin not throwing Uncle Joe under the bus.
And we'll continue to build on the legacy, I would argue, of our former president, who I think was one of the most successful presidents in the last century, and that is Joe Biden. And I will defend that till my grave in terms of the CHIPS and Science Act, the infrastructure bill, the work he did on the IRA, the fact that he had a worker-centered industrial policy, and the fact that those are the right policies for this country.
They're all getting undone, right? I mean, everything.
A lot of them, but not, well, many aspects are being celebrated by the Trump administration as his.
Oh, are they really? Yeah, we're going to celebrate all the wins that Joe had.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's all there was.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
There wasn't any.
Yeah, there was a little clip of one thing that he said last week that I thought really summed himself up really well. Here it is.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
So, yeah, I think that sums
Hello,
it up.
pot, meat, kettle.
Yeah. You can be best friends if you try.
Oh, my Lord, give me a break. Yeah, the Democrats are really hating that Trump is keeping all of his promises and doing what he said. You can't do that. It makes the rest of us look bad. Oh, really? Well, that's just not the way it works.
Like I said, I'm just surprised that they're still propping up. I mean, except for Corinne Jean-Pierre, who's kind of thrown Uncle Joe under the bus. I mean,
she threw anybody she could grab and put on pen to paper under the bus to make her book be more. I wouldn't read that if it was the last thing on earth to read.
You know, that book tour, that tour going around through all the media is not going so well because they've asked her some hard questions that she really can't answer. She's just getting offended left and right.
She couldn't answer them before when she was in front of everybody. Old notebook there. It's like, let's see. I think I had a canned answer. There it is.
Here, I'm supposed to say, yeah, there it is. But yeah, and now she's an independent. She's not even a Democrat. So I think that's where she feels like she has
right. I'm an independent because I'm on a book tour and I can't offend half the country.
Thing is that the Democrats are the ones who put you on TV and made you a household name for the last 4 years, I mean, or 3 years, because before that it was Saki Bomb.
Peppermint Patty?
Peppermint Patty, yeah. She's actually done well on MSNBC. I think she's cashing big checks. So, I mean, okay.
Yeah, she's about done. Her show is to bottom of the ratings. And MSN's, they're running out of money, and people are going, bye-bye. CNN is just hanging on by a thread.
CNN is running out of money. You know MSNBC is running out of money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're up for sale, so.
Yeah. Who would buy that? Again, dumpster fire. Word of the day.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the phrase of the day is dumpster fire. What Democrats do when that would be like password.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Alan Ludden.
There you go.
Betty White's husband. Dumpster fire is just one of the, and their ratings keep going lower and lower. I saw somewhere the other day that one poll showed them at 16%. The House Democrats are approval rating. 16%.
It just you think, well, how low can they go? So they keep dropping that bar down, and they seem to just slide under it again, but it's getting so low.
Blaming Trump for the shutdown and everything, and I guess I can see the idea behind that, but it's out of Trump's hands at this point. I mean, the House has already passed everything.
Yep.
It's up to the Senate Democrats, and I think the last vote we saw some cracks. I think there was a couple of people that came over to open the government, but you just have to just sit back and wait and see. I mean, eventually people are going to. Oh, there was a video put out by the Teamsters leader and the couple of labor leaders that have put out and said,
the federal labor, whatever. They went no, get this thing moving. Who was Jazzy Crockett? Not to she's no relation to Davy. She.
You might wear the same hat. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it depends on which wig is on for that day. Saying stuff that, well, they control all three, the House, the Senate, and the
White House.
The White House, that other big building. Woof, I'm bad as she is. And it's like, okay, sort of, but in this instance, it requires 60 votes. Read how the Constitution works in what?
They're counting on people, on their low IQ constituents.
Yeah, people don't read it. They don't know.
They have no idea.
I hacked off, I'll try to be nice about it, an individual who all of a sudden you take a shot at me and start being nasty. I wasn't, and you want to be that way. You don't even know what the Constitution is. So the book that I have that has the Bible that has the Constitution in the back of it, I got it out, went to that, and took a picture of it and sent it. Bye.
Well, I had somebody, I forgot what it was. I was, it was a joke about the Oregon Trail game. Where it used to say you died of diphtheria or something. Anyway, it said you died of lack of EBT funds. It was just a joke. But anyway, he got on there and just started ripping on friends of mine that said something, and I'm like, so I just posted a little picture. I said, your victim card has been declined. And, oh my gosh, he sent me a note, or he posted on a different post of mine saying, so it got really nasty, used filthy language, and I was like, okay, you're blocked. I'm sorry. And he tried to hurt my feelings, but you're supposed to be some voiceover artist. I've never heard of you. Yada yada. It's like, dude, there are so many voiceover artists you've never heard of. Get over yourself. But it's whatever. Most successful voiceover artists, I'm not saying that that's me, you've never heard of. The ones you hear on TV all the time, you never heard of. Only the ones that are so full of themselves that put themselves out there and say, look what I've done. But whatever, dude, Anyway, yeah, people just get nasty. They get, I mean, he was saying stuff I can't even begin to I just
that's the way this was going. And I said you wouldn't know the truth if it jumped up and bit you in the ass.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, don't be, you're talking, and it's someone from Portland, go figure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, Peirs Morgan, who used to be a lefty, has really started to come around from his extreme views. Here he is perfectly describing the left in America today on Fox and Friends the other day.
They sucked the joy out of everything, but they also became, with their kind of scolding, virtue signaling, cancelling, whining, joyless agenda, they became the very thing they profess to hate most. They say they hate fascists. They call everybody fascist. If you don't agree with their ridiculous worldview, you are a fascist. And yet, oddly, what was their behavior? Pure fascism. Yep. Cancelling, shaming, vilifying, destroying anybody who disagreed with.
Yeah, because all you had to do is just say that, well, I'm not getting the shot, or I'm not.
Well, you're going to kill Grandma. You're not following along. You're not. Where's the Pied Piper? Are we supposed to keep in step? What kind of music's he playing?
Exactly. No. And we played this how many times? The copy and pasted messages that all the mainstream media, even the local media, kept reading to us and trying to get us.
We had the one that was like 36 different stations, word for word, exactly the same.
Incredible. And but all you had to do is just say, criticize the vax or say that that a 98.7% survival rate. I'm willing to roll the dice on that one. I mean, if you just said that, you get canceled. You get your account just closed up. We've had several things on YouTube just taken off when YouTube was still part of that system. They've been better now, but we just played.
Yeah, when it was the inventor of the mRNA, and I think he knows what he's talking about here. Just saying.
Oh, he was the biggest victim of that cancellation. Him and Peter McCullough, and gosh, I can't think of the other guy from Stanford. But anyway, there's a bunch of people that had credibility, had quite a pedigree as far as understanding vaccinations and those kind of things. So, yeah, they all got canceled. More so than us, for sure. We need a palate cleanser. We got a big one this time. Yeah, this is what you said.
This you'll be able to swirl, swish, and spit if you want to. Lots of time.
Yeah, exactly. This is a message from Paul Harvey from 1965. Man, it's just so appropriate today. It's a little lengthy, but you're going to like it. Here we go.
At Runnymede, the Magna Carta was handed to King John on the end of a sword, denying to royalty the right of unlimited taxation. Yet it was for us, the American people, to become the first in recorded history ever voluntarily to surrender our rights to private property. Oh, yes, we did. With an innocent-sounding constitutional amendment, the 16th, which says that Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived, and we forgot to put any limit on the extent to which we could tax ourselves. Conceivably, we could be taxed out of all private property. We could be taxed not 70%, 80%, 90%, but 100%. We could awaken one morning and find that the government owns the farm and the house and the car and has a mortgage on the church, legally. Historically, whenever any nation has taxed its people more than 25% of their national income, initiative was destroyed and that nation was headed for economic eclipse. History says we'll roll forward on momentum for a little while, but we'd better get some more gas in the tank pretty quick. You see, ours is not the first by George good government to arise on the world stage. There have been several. Rome, Spain, and Greece, and China, and each enjoyed about 150 years at its zenith. That's just about our time in the New World. And then each decayed away. Not one of them was ever destroyed by anybody else's marching legions. Each rotted away, morally, socially, culturally, economically, simultaneously. One of the most cruel paradoxes of history is this. Because each was a good government, it bore bountiful fruit. And when it bore bountiful fruit, the people got fat. And when they got fat, they got lazy. And when they got lazy, they began to want to absolve themselves of personal responsibility and turn over to government to do for them things which traditionally they had been doing for themselves. At first, there appears to be nothing wrong in asking government to perform some extra service for you, but if you ask government for extra services, government, in order to perform its increasing function, has to get bigger, right? And as government gets bigger, in order to support its increasing size, it has to what? Tax the individual more. So the individual gets littler. And to collect the increased taxes requires more tax collectors, so the government gets bigger, and in order to pay the additional tax collectors, it has to tax the individual more, so the government gets bigger and the individual gets littler. And the government gets bigger and the individual gets littler, until the government is all-powerful. The individual is hardly anything at all. The government is all-powerful. The people are cattle. Now, some believe that the need is for a vigorous, strong man to arise on the scene, to regulate and regiment the affairs of men. Yet history tells us there have been several such. Once upon a time, there was a nation great and powerful and good. She was suffering from the aftermath of war, from a depression. And then came upon the scene a leader, an idealist, self-confident, intolerant of criticism. Wisely, he limited his early activities to combating the financial depression. Nobody could argue with that. But in a while, he began to regulate business and establish new rules to govern commerce and finance. Some of them in diametrical disagreement with the God-made laws of supply and demand, but anybody who disagreed with those new rules was promptly fired. The national debt mounted alarmingly. Whenever anybody tried to tell him that governments, even as people, can go broke when they spend beyond their incomes, he said they just didn't understand deficit finance. Well, what do you say? Did he build on rock or on sand? I say on sand. I am satisfied with all my heart that if Uncle Sam ever does get whipped, here too, it will have been an inside job. It was internal decay, it was not external attack that destroyed the Roman Empire. Starting about 146 BC, internal conditions in Rome were characterized by a welter of class wars and conflicts, street brawls, corrupt governors, lack of personal integrity and moral responsibility. And Rome passed into what history has recorded as the Dark Ages, lasting 1,000 years. Just by turning to the left, the world has gone in circles. Now either we will profit from the errors of their ways, or it follows as the night the day, our children are going to have to relive the Dark Ages all over again. How come, after thousands of years of experiment, our new nation has come so far so fast? All this in less than 200 years. What is the secret of our success? Well, I think it had to do with a basic American's creed. Perhaps it never passed the pioneer's lips in this form, but if it had, I think he would have said something like this: I believe in my God, in my country, and in myself. I know that sounds like a trite, too simple thing to say, and yet it's a rare man today who will dare to stand up and say, I believe in my God and my country and in myself, and in that order. Well, sir, when that early pioneer turned his eyes toward the West, he didn't demand that somebody else look after him. He didn't demand a free education. He didn't demand a guaranteed rocking chair at eventide. He didn't demand that somebody else take care of him if he got ill or got old. There was an old-fashioned philosophy in those days that a man was supposed to provide for his own and for his own future. He didn't demand a maximum amount of money for a minimum amount of work, nor did he expect pay for no work at all. Come to think of it, he didn't demand anything. That hard-handed pioneer just looked out there at the rolling plains, stretching away to the tall green mountains, and then lifted his eyes to the blue skies and said, thank you, God. Now I can take it from here. Now that spirit isn't dead in our country. It's dormant. It's been discredited in some circles, driven underground, but it isn't dead. It's just that a few seasons ago, politicians baiting their hooks with free barbecue and trading a Ponzi promise for votes began telling us we don't want opportunity anymore, we want security. We don't want opportunity, they said, we want security. They said it so often we came to believe them. We wanted security. And they gave us chains, and we were secure. Suddenly, with our constitutional guarantees depleted, with our national character eroding away, with our tax laws penalizing those who dare to prosper, with workers concentrating on how little they can get by with instead of how much they can produce, suddenly we looked overhead one day to discover that the first tin moon in space was a Russian accomplishment. That free men dragging their feet had been outdistanced by slave workers dragging their chains. and we were sore afraid. Perhaps this was a disguised blessing, too. Maybe a dramatic accomplishment by this Cold War adversary was necessary to get us off our dead centers and back to work again. If we can revive in ourselves, then in our youth, something of that basic American's creed, the horizon has never, ever been so limitless. For man stands now on the threshold of his highest adventure of all, his first faltering footsteps into space. 20 years from today, half of the products you will be using in your everyday living aren't even in the dictionary yet. We've got it made. If we just keep on keeping on, we've got it made. And if we don't, we will follow those other great nation-states of history into the graveyard of ignominious oblivion. History promises only this for certain. We will get exactly what we deserve.
Yeah, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it, right?
Yeah, if he didn't mention that not even 200 years, you would think this was talking about today.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is 100% dead on. I ran across that and just went, whoa, it's long, but wow, we need to play this. So
absolutely, and I'm going to hang on to it so we can play it again in the future because it's so poignant and just. I mean, you think about when he was mentioning trading in your liberty for chains because of security in order for, and that's exactly what they're trying to do in New York City. They're going to trade in all their
ain't nothing free.
Freedom. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I hate it for New York City, but unfortunately, like at the end there, we get exactly what we deserve when you start going down that road. So anyway, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, Rumble. You can ask Alexa to find us. Sometimes she finds us under a dark rock somewhere. But anyway.
Do you have a phone number if someone wants to comment on the Paul Harvey story? We'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well.
That's right. It's 706-383-9003. If you want to call and leave us a message, and maybe we'll play it on the air if you mention Richard's mustache. It's almost a guarantee. Or you can write us an email, soml@duck.com. So.
And if you're having trouble figuring out the good old podcast world, just go to our website of stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
Hopefully we've still paid for that. I think we still have that up. Anyway, we'll see you next week, folks.
Toodles, and thanks so much for watching, and be sure and tell a friend. We appreciate you all. Bye now. Well, we had fun and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Well, mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.